Welcome back into the Cowboys Report, live once again and presented today by Manscaped. Smooth Sack Summer is here, and they're making sure you're having a ball off the field. 20% off and free shipping on all of their products when you head over to manscaped.com and you use promo code Cowboys. Tell you more about them later on in today's show. But as always, we're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and live on Rumble as we wait for everyone to click that notification and join us here on the Cowboys Report. Our first question, and our pinned question, the pinned poll, if you will, of the YouTube side: do you want to sign a wide receiver next? Unsurprisingly, 90%, at least in the voting side, typing in the Y for yes. I would be confused if it wasn't super high, since that does make quite a bit of sense. And people were all mad at the Cowboys signed Anthony Barr, which was a good signing, but they want a wide receiver too, because apparently you can only do one thing in the NFL. Anyway, I see yeses from Nate Rosario. Toxic says no, trade. I'm on board with that one instead. That's fine with me. Yes from Darren Pressey. Yes from Fabian Gonzalez. Yes from Bo Hansen. Moffat Monkey, however you pronounce it, says yes. Mojo the Only says yes. Daniel says yes. Gaming for Jesus. Roy Williams. All typing in their yeses there. John Tucker, Javen White, Jordan. Oh boy, we got some fun names in there. Well, there are a ton of yeses. Daryl, Osbaldo, Boys, Cavazos. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Lloyd Descent, Rugrat Israel, Star 18. Giuseppe, friend of the show, says no. Rico Johnson is yes, and it's outside of William Gibbs. He put in a no there. 95%, probably in terms of just the chat, are saying yes. The poll right now is 90%. Someone said we should have got Debo. Yeah, but they weren't trading him. Like, that was the thing. What I tried to warn everyone about. You weren't going to get DK or Debo because they weren't really on the trade market. So down to 89%, by the way, in terms of the pinned poll, saying yes, sign a wide receiver next. We will spend some time with some training camp winners and losers so far. We've got some updated names to keep an eye out for. But name a camp winner so far. Drop that name, and I'll give shout-outs here in the comment section. Practice is still ongoing for just a little bit longer today. Name a camp winner I got 10 winners, 5 losers for you guys later on in today's show. I see Dak, that's fine too. Micah Parsons, someone said Ryan Nall. Well, he's hurt now, so no, he's not. Smith, I assume you mean Tyler Smith, Micah Parsons, Tyler Smith, TJ Vasher, Dak Prescott, Anthony Brown, Tristan Hill, Vasher, Parsons, Kavontae Turpin checks out there too. Dan Quinn, CeeDee Lamb, Dan Quinn, Dennis Houston, good name there, John. Sam Williams, also a good name. A lot of those names we had on the original Cowboys winners. We're doing an updated list, which is almost all entirely new names, minus a couple that needed to be put on there again for at least the second time. I see Houston, Parsons in there. Noah Brown, is that Noah Brown or Anthony Brown? Both answers, I think, are actually correct from that standpoint. Let's see. Ezekiel Elliott, sure, it's fine. CeeDee Lamb is in there. Jake McQuaid, snaps ain't been great for the kickers overall. I'm not sure he's a winner right now. Someone says Chugs. Jeremy's doing Raiders Report Live. He's not in today. No. By who told you to do this? Who told you to do it? Yes, you can.
I'm not allowed to divulge. I would get fired if I do.
It's Jeremy, I can tell.
But I was told to do this.
Jeremy just peered around the corner going, that's what Jeremy's doing.
I was just told. I'm doing what I was told.
At least Daddy Tom's better than #babymaker. By the way, fun fact, my wife did tune in for part of that show last night. So that was a fun conversation when we got home. I will not give you shout-outs for spamming Daddy Tom in the comment section. I might ban it. We'll find out. Long term, the Cowboys are probably not going to keep both Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, in large part due to just contract details too expensive to pay two number one back money there. So if you can only pick one to keep, who is it? EE for Ezekiel Elliott. You have work to go do, Jeremy. Get out of here. Or type in TP for Tony Pollard. Mostly TPs coming in here. I'm just going to ignore you, Jeremy. That's Chugs behind the scenes. Not even on today's show. It's Coop instead. It's 80% TPs, you think there, Jeff? 80, 75 maybe? I'll give some shout-outs here. Nappy 4K, Corey, Star, Lloyd, Worm. Ooh, it's Hobo Goblin, says neither. TPs from Christian as well. Fabian, Nate Rosario, Roy Williams. EEs, i.e. Ezekiel Elliott from Dallas versus Patriot. Cayman AZ. Eddie Velasquez. I think I got that one right. Not sure. Luis says depends. That's technically true, I guess. Zeno Sayin, Jamie Rodriguez. TPs from Marquise is Baldo. A write-in for rookie from the draft from Kenyon 94. I think that could be an option, either maybe in addition to whichever one you do end up keeping, just from a pure volume number standpoint there. If I can't have both, then none from Ham, interestingly enough there. Cam, EE, and then there are a lot of Daddy Toms in there as well. Super Chat, by the way, just came in, so hit the Super Chat, then we'll run through today's menu as well. The first and only Super Chat so far of the day from one Just a King. I almost said Justin there. Can we make the question today, how many games will the Cowboys win if Tom Downey is made GM? I mean, the answer's 17. Well, maybe one day we'll do it as like an over-under in the middle of an offseason. We'll put it over-under at 11. I think it's reasonable there. So here's our Super Chat menu, by the way. When we get to the mailbag, since we will talk about it during rumors, by the way, any Dez questions, thoughts, I will only answer them if they are Super Chats. So, Coop, don't go to Dez questions. Don't break the rules here. Any Super Chat equals screen time. $5 equals beer cheers. I got it here for you guys. We'll crack one open. $20 equals shots. $55, we'll keep it going for one more day. We'll bring back the bar boot. Probably not a good idea. The volume alone kills me, but it's fun, so why not? There was a $20 Super Chat from Just a King, so we'll crack this open here, the Jack Daniels, and pour some out. Yeah, of course we're going liquor, Jeremy. What else would, or Jeff, what else would, I know, I'm used to Jeremy there. It's because of Zeno saying Super Chat, actually. He says, bring back Jeremy. He's too important. I miss him. Find someone who loves you the same way that Zeno saying loves
hurts,
Jeremy.
Zeno.
It is a little mean to you,
That
Jeff.
hurts.
Yeah, you actually like the Cowboys, along with 18 other teams. Got him. Cheers, friends. All right. Thanks for the Super Chat so far. Well, remember, if we get to 69 again, it's also shots for us here on air. All right, back to our next question. How many touchdown catches for CeeDee Lamb this year? Get your predictions in for me in the comment section. I like to do the touchdown ones because the numbers get out of control sometimes. That's fun. I see 10, 27. Zeno says nothing personal. And Ham says Brett over Jeremy. Good call. Brett is our boss. 14, 12, 10, 12, 12, 20. 12, 12, 7, 14, 12, 14, 20, 10, 15, 11, 24, 12, 8, 11, 14. Got a 420 in there. 8, 11, 8, 15, and we just got 69s coming in. So that's how that one tends to go. 12, 20, 9, 14, 17, 2, 10. We actually hit that way in earlier there, Jeff. One coming up. 8, 11, 10, 13, 12, 9 from Rico Johnson. So anywhere between 8 and incredibly high numbers, which I find interesting from that standpoint, which we'll see how it all goes down in the end. Now, if you are ready for us to get today's show going, the news and rumors, the training camp buzz and whatnot, hit the like button. We're already past 69 likes. We're up to 72. Nice, but we've got almost 400 people watching and not even to 100. That means about less than 25% of you who are watching the show right now haven't liked it. That's pretty disappointing as far as I'm concerned. So help us out. Tell YouTube that you like what we're doing by liking the video. Here's what's coming up on today's show, by the way. Latest news and rumors, some injury notes we'll break down, along with some, I'm just going to call them wild wide receiver ideas that have been floated out there in the past 24-ish hours. Training camp winners and losers as well. The updated version through roughly 2 weeks of camp. It's a little bit under 2 weeks, but we'll round there. Also, mailbag. So get your questions in either by super chatting or by using hashtag Cowboys, although it does put you at the mercy of producer Jeff picking your question and bringing it up there, as we can go to that super chat. We can go to that super chat as well. And then Cowboys Report After Hours, exclusively available on Rumble once today's show wraps up. We'll talk about the idea of a Dak Prescott extension. I already see Sack77 in the live chat over there. Thank you, my friend. Head over there once we're all said and done. Here's Jeremy Chugs, says hashtag babymaker, hashtag daddy Downey. So on that note, we'll get today's show rolling, yet another Cowboys Report live edition, the last one on Thursday for the foreseeable future. Starting next week, Cowboys Report Live moves to Monday. So you guys get a live show Wednesday, a live show Thursday, and a live show Monday, all right here on the Cowboys Report. Today's Dallas Cowboys Report is presented by Manscaped. Smooth Sack Summer is here, and you want to have success off the field, which I think is pretty clear what I'm implying. Get 20% off and free shipping when you head over to manscaped.com, and you use promo code COWBOYS at checkout. Without the promo code, you're not going to get the deal, but it's in the comments section and the description of today's show. Here's some of what's coming up on today's show. Is there actual interest in a wide receiver? We'll break down what Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones said. Those are different conversations there. 3 wide receiver ideas. Odell Beckham, Bryant, and Terrell Owens, all linked by various media / other players or themselves. A Tony Pollard extension as well. But we begin with injury news for the Cowboys. Fullback Ryan Nall has suffered a quote-unquote deep shoulder contusion, i.e. a super bad shoulder bruise, and he's going to miss 2 to 4 weeks to recover. That would put him back in time for week 1 of the season, but would potentially significantly limit his ability to show what he can do in Cowboys camp. Dallas is rather thin right now at running back / fullback. They cut Nick Ralston. They cut Jaquan Hardy. They are down to Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. We'll also make note that Rico, Dowdle, and Aaron Shampklin right now are on the COVID list. More on that in a little bit. With Ryan Nall banged up at Cowboys Training Camp today, they had 3 healthy backs. On now to the wide receiver position. The Cowboys signed Anthony Barr. We're all excited. Some people were like, oh, you need a wide receiver more. Well, you need both, to be clear. And good thing is you can still do both. Now, Jerry Jones has said he didn't think receiver was a big need right now. They want to see what the young guys can do. But Stephen Jones, who runs things a bit more these days, had something else to say. Quote, we're always looking to upgrade. I'd say we were probably looking to upgrade before the injury. We'll just kind of see what goes on out here. We continue to look to upgrade our roster at every position. So the back half is the classic Stephen Jones comment. It's the beginning stuff that goes, okay, they were at least considering, much like they were at linebacker, they were thinking about it there. So for the Cowboys, Gallup's not going to be ready week 1. Washington will not be ready week 1. And although there's plenty of optimism about Jalen Tolbert and Sima Fehoko and Noah Brown and TJ Vasher and Dennis Houston's got a bunch of run with the ones early on, the Cowboys are not super deep at proven wide receiver help. So do you want to sign a wide receiver next? Sound off for me in the comments section if that is a route you want the Cowboys to go pursue. It's Y for yes, N for no. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Let's move now to the wide receiver ideas that are out there. 3, I'm going to call them wild ones. First up is Odell Beckham. Again, ESPN and Mike Tannenbaum said the Cowboys need to go add OBJ. And this, of course, is not the first time, and frankly, not the last time. I'm sure we'll see OBJ linked to Dallas. Here's what Tannenbaum had to say, quote, go get OBJ right now. Have him rehab as a Cowboy, learn the offense so whenever he's ready to go, he can hit the ground running. Here's some pros and cons of adding OBJ. He is a very impactful player when healthy, and he was bouncing back with the Rams before that injury. And of all the top free agents at wide receiver or overall, OBJ by far is the best one. The flip side is he's not going to be ready until November. He doesn't help you short term, which is what the wide receiver need is right now. And you would always have to worry about regression or OBJ being a bit of a diva and getting into fistfights on the sidelines with kicking nets and whatnot. So would you sign Odell Beckham right now? Not in a month or 2 months, right this second. This is going to be our pinned comment on today's show. So if you get the ad break, take advantage of it. Head down. Type in OBJ for yes you would, or no BJ for no. In general, I would not be mad if the Cowboys signed him. It's Odell Beckham. Right? Like that's fine. That's a good hypothetical idea. And if he were healthy, this would be all aboard the Odell Beckham to Dallas campaign. He was playing better before he got hurt with the LA Rams last year in the Super Bowl, much more in line with the old Odell Beckham. Here's the problem, though. It doesn't help you right now, and that's what the Cowboys need. By the time Odell Beckham is healthy, likely around November-ish, give or take a couple weeks or whatnot, Michael Gallup is back. That would leave you with Lamb, Gallup, and Tolbert. Unless Tolbert is slow to develop or Gallup re-injures himself somehow, receiver then is in a massive need. Now, if there are not great play, if there are injuries, sure, we can be on OBJ watch come October, November, but for August, it doesn't actually fix the Cowboys' needs at wide receiver at all. Now, today's show is made possible by our good friends over at Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping on all of their top-of-the-line men's grooming products, including the most comfortable boxers known to mankind, the Boxers 2.0. It's smooth sack summer, and Manscaped's helping to keep your balls having a good time, if you will. A lawnmower 4.0, because no lady wants a bunch of bush downstairs. That's not great for you fellas out there. Have more success off the field. Be a training camp winner by using Manscaped at manscaped.com. Promo code is Cowboys. That link will be in the comments section and in the description. Although OBJ's been linked to Dallas, he wants Dez Bryant back to go to the Cowboys. This is what Odell Beckham tweeted out the other day. Dez back to the boys. Get home, King. I don't even know where to begin with this one. There's so much. We're not even to the craziest receiver yet, by the way. Teaser alert. Here's what Dez Bryant's done the past 4 years. Nothing. 6 catches in 4 years. Without fail, whether it's in my Twitter mentions, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Rumble, somebody always says, yeah, Dez Bryant, please move on. Find a new slant. I am begging you. I will forever love Dez Bryant. This is not Dez shade whatsoever. It's the truth. He's washed, guys. I'm sorry. He is old. He has 6 catches in 4 years. I think the Cowboys did him dirty, but that doesn't mean it's a good idea to bring him back. The next contract Dez should sign is a one-day to retire with the Cowboys so he can eventually go into the Ring of Honor. I love Dez. He does not help you at this stage in his NFL career. You're better off rolling with your unknowns and current guys on the roster. Now, if and when the Cowboys do sign a receiver or trade for one potentially, we, of course, have you guys covered. Just like we did for the Anthony Brown signing. Cowboys news, rumors, we break it down for you. Hit that, or Anthony Barr, what did I say? I said Brown, didn't I? Anthony Barr signing, there you go. YouTube.com/Cowboys TV. If you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe to the #1 Cowboys YouTube channel. We're not done yet. Mark Young, whoever that is on social media, was like, Cowboys need a solid vet for 4 to 6 games. Let's bring in Terrell Owens. T.O. says, I'm ready. This one's even more insane than the Dez Bryant one. I genuinely cannot believe we're doing this in the year of our Lord 2022. It has been not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. T.O. hasn't played football since 2010. I don't even know if I was in college yet at that point because years are hard for me. Signing a 48-year-old Terrell Owens makes absolutely zero football sense. So if you wanted Dez, if you wanted T.O., guys, I'm sorry, this is stupid. He hasn't played football, an actual NFL game, since 2010. There are some players on this Cowboys roster who weren't even teenagers the last time Dez was playing football, or T.O. was playing football. It doesn't make any actual football sense. So of our wild and wacky wide receiver ideas today, if you had to, and I'll do one too, I will put up my own idea here. If you had to pick one, who would it be? Type DB for Dez Bryant or type in TO for Terrell Owens. Sound off for me in the comments section. Now, neither of these guys actually help you because they haven't done much of anything in the NFL. T.O. hasn't played an NFL game since 2010. Dez Bryant has 6 catches since 2016. Of the two, give me Dez. He's younger, and I know Terrell Owens is in crazy good shape and did the whatever fan control football thing, which cool, okay, let's not pretend that's real football, guys. I would rather have Dez if I had to pick one of the two. Not very good ideas at wide receiver. There is a very long list of guys that make way more sense than T.O. or Dez. Of the two, give me Dez. Let's move to Tony Pollard now. Could he get a contract extension? This one a little bit less wild and wacky. Pollard has been hyped up by the Cowboys and the organization in the past couple months or so. Stephen Jones, the team has not had contract extension talk, which I don't think should be a real surprise, by the way, as Pollard is primed for more touches this year. Here's what Stephen Jones had to say. There are some things as we move forward we just have to take a look at in terms of that running back position and the cap. But the goal is to have Tony Pollard back here next year. Nothing that Stephen Jones said should surprise anybody. Not only do I think the Cowboys want to wait and see how the entire year goes before paying anybody up for a new deal this year, but Pollard should want to wait as well. Because if you're Pollard, there's no reason to rush into a deal. Because if he plays great, somebody might offer him big-time money on the free agent market. So I would wait if I were Pollard. And I think that's going to be the path the Cowboys end up pursuing here. In like 99 out of 100 of the multiverses, the Cowboys will not retain both Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. It doesn't make financial sense to do there. So pick one to keep. Type in EE for Ezekiel Elliott, or you can type in TP for Tony Pollard. Now, Pollard was a bit more productive in terms of explosiveness and big plays this year, but Zeke had more of the volume. And I think regardless of whenever these guys get their new deals, if Zeke's brought back, I bet it's on a restructured contract. Otherwise, he's cut. If Pollard signs and they cut Zeke, I bet it's less than this number. I hope the Cowboys have learned their lesson and will not overinvest at the running back position because overall, even though it's not easy to replace certain backs, it is an easier position to replace than some of your more pivotal ones. If you guys made it to the end of today's video, you are a real one. I appreciate that. So everybody spam real one for me in the comment section right now. A couple quick notes here, by the way, on the COVID cases for Rico, Dowdle, and Aaron Shampklin. Nothing too concerning there, but they're going to be out a couple days. Dowdle will miss 5 days starting Thursday, so checking for them to return earlier on next week for the Cowboys. All right, our question next up here for you. Will you watch tonight's NFL Hall of Fame game? Y for yes, N for no, Raiders, Jags. You can be honest with me. It is going to be called backup football, is what I call it there. So will you watch it? Y or N? Mojo says yes. Peyton, Juan, Gary says yes. Brandon, it's Hobo Goblin says no, it's boring. I get that. Daniel says no. Let's see. Cooper says yes. Jed says yes. Joe says yes. Alan Williams II says yes. Lloyd Descent says yes. James Star Wars, my second team is Jacksonville. I'm sorry, that's not fun. I see Terrell Hawkins says yes. It's Raiders Jags, by the way, Daniel. Corey, yes. Alan, yes. No LOL from DJ Legend on top of that. So keep it coming. Y for yes, N for no. Don't you do it. I'm not. I'm not going to engage with it, Jeremy. Or Jeff, you can unmute yourself.
My finger slipped.
Yeah, sure it did. Sure your finger slipped, if you say so. I'm not going to engage with it. Estes says yes. William Gibbs says yes. And now we're losing the live chat. All right, here's what's coming up next. It's mailbag time. 2 ways to get on the show. Number 1, you can super chat. I already see Aaron and Zeno in there. We'll get to those questions. We'll do Aaron. Let's do Zeno's right now, though. Well, because that one's not really relevant at all to the Cowboys, but we'll give Zeno a shout-out here. Use hashtag Cowboys or Super Chat. Zeno says, for everyone, Jeff versus Jeremy, who's better? He says Jeremy.
That's rude, Zeno. I'm a lifelong Cowboy fan.
All right. Type in 1 for Jeremy and 2 for Jeff.
It's got to be me.
I don't know if you're going to win this one.
Jeremy's an Eagles fan.
Yes, he is.
They hate the Eagles.
Yeah, but they like Jeremy for some reason.
What?
I don't get it either. I don't even like Jeremy.
I'm about to walk out.
All right, well, then you get fired, so I probably wouldn't advise that. I think 0 means neither. All right, 1 for Jeremy, 2 for Jeff. I'm looking at the numbers come in here. Early lead for the 2s. I'm gonna change the pin poll. I'm gonna make this the pin poll right now. Cool. I hit the button wrong.
Y'all are real ones. A lot of 2s coming in. Love it.
Cooler producer. Jeff, Cowboys fan, in parentheses. Jeremy, Eagles fan. All right. That is the new pin poll. We'll check in again in a little bit. See how things are going. But that's the cooler producer poll. Jeff or Jeremy. After today's live show wraps up, we will have an exclusive segment available only on Rumble. So make sure you guys get over there. I already see Sack77 answering all of our questions. Thank you, my friend. It's going to be on a hypothetical Dak Prescott extension. So we'll get to that at the end of today's live show. All right, our Super Chat menu with this in mind for the upcoming mailbag. If you want to talk Dez, positive, negative, whatever, only via Super Chats because it is 2022. If you do put in a Super, we'll give you guys screen time, even if it's to say Jeff sucks. That's fine. Beer cheers, $5. I'll crack open the beer I got right here and cheers for you.
Oh, let's go.
$20, it's shot time. We already did one for Just the King. $55, it is a bar boot. By the way, if we get to 69, it's shots for both me and Jeff, and we are almost halfway there. 91%.
Look at this poll. Let's go.
91% going in favor of Jeff in our pin poll about the cooler producer, Jeffrey Cooperstein or Jeremy Chuggs. Runaway vote so far for Jeff. So, here comes Jeremy.
Here comes Chuggs. Look at this poll.
Look at this poll.
Cooler producer. What do you have to say? Oh, dude, you put Cowboys fan and Eagles fan.
That's what they are. That's what you guys are, though. That's true. You want to say something, Jeremy?
Say Chuggs.
You're basically watching CNN right now, where
that's ridiculous.
They're feeding you lies. They're feeding you
Where's
lies
the
right
lie?
now.
Are you an Eagles fan?
You're prefacing everything with who's the more fun producer. What team we're doing have to do with what fun we do.
I didn't say fun. I said cooler.
Same thing.
No,
Same thing.
they don't even share any of the same letters, dude.
You're like, oh, which one of these shows is cooler? Super Awesome Friends or The Office?
So,
like, that's what you just did to me.
So you're saying that Cowboys are cool, Eagles aren't? Got it. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
That's fair. That's fine. Get some baby makers in the comments. Hashtag baby maker. Hashtag Daddy Tom. He's in here. He's using his stroke. Hashtag Manscaped.
Let's also hit Mark's super chat. We'll get to that one real quick. Since the last night's show absolutely got off the rails as things went along there, Uncle Marky super chat $2 says, "So Tom, how mad was the missus last night? LOL aloha. Not that bad. It's fine. She was watching, which I was unprepared for. Anyway, we were tired, so that's kind of where we're at on that one. J-Buzz, I do see your super chat. We'll get to that one as well during the mailbag, plus the latest one from Zeno saying, Zeno's got $6 in, so I will do a beer cheers for that one. So mailbag coming up here momentarily. Say what? Start with Aaron's, and then do J-Buzz, and the last one from Zeno. Those are the ones that are relevant for the actual Cowboy side of it here in a little bit. So, stick around. Cowboys mailbag coming up right now. You guys are watching the Dallas Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey, and today's show is made possible by our friends over at Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com and use promo code COWBOYS. When you use promo code COWBOYS at manscaped.com, it gets you 20% off and free shipping on all of their top-of-the-line men's grooming products. All right, first up from Tyler Perry. This was a super thanks that I promised we'd get to as part of today's show. So we go from having one of the best receiving units in the league last year to hoping 2 guys off the practice squad or from this year's UDFA class to take a bunch of meaningful reps. Maybe we should actually pay Schultz to make him next 1,000-yard receiver before we get any worse. Obviously, at this point, you kind of can't pay anybody with the franchise tag. I am worried about the situation as we sit in terms of the wide receiver room. I would hope they find some type of help coming soon. I agree with you there, my friend. Frederick Hardy also had a super thanks, just said, thanks. Appreciate that. Those of you that don't know, super thanks allow you to donate on demand beyond live shows, just like how super chats work, but it's a super thanks instead. If you do that, we will always give you guys a shout out. From Aaron Gadare, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, my friend. Has Nahshon surpassed Joseph on the depth chart? From what I've seen and heard, he has. Can't wait to see him in games. I don't know if he's passed him on the depth chart. I think they're both the number 2 outside guys. I will say that I think Nahshon Wright's had the better training camp so far over Kelvin Joseph. Joseph suffered from what I like to call Awuzie syndrome, where you're in position. Can't quite get your head around, though. J Buzz, a $5 super chat. I owe some beer cheers here. True or false? Tom Brady has more touchdowns in his 40s than Aikman had in his career. That is true, by the way. Aikman, I think I got the list, Jim Plunkett, Joe Theismann, Roger Staubach, too. The game has changed significantly, after all. Also, will we snag a Tampa wide receiver after roster cuts? I would consider that. There's a lot of guys out there. Brashad Perryman fits now. Jalen Darden, Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller. Bucks have too many receivers. Somebody's not going to make that team. That is definitely a team I would keep an eye out for. From Zeno saying, no Jeremy slander. How about Will Fuller or Emmanuel Sanders? Fuller does need to get Fuller needs to stay healthy. That's the guy I would consider the most because he's been a big play threat and I need speed on the outside. As for Emmanuel Sanders, there's some knee issues. That's going to have to be sorted out in terms of if he wants to keep playing through that knee. So keep an eye on, I'd say, Fuller, I hope, but I think both guys are going to have to kind of wait around from that standpoint. From Ced Wilson's mom, people talk about trading for Preston Williams, but why not bring back Cedric Wilson? Well, there you go. I think that checks out from the name perspective. I don't think the Dolphins are going to trade away Cedric Wilson right now. They just signed him after all. I know that was before they traded for Tyreek Hill, and they drafted Eric Ezekama later in the 4th round. That's a 4th-round pick. I kind of feel like they want Wilson as wide receiver 3. And I think that's about where he should be. Dolphins don't save very much money with a trade. Neither do the Cowboys. The Cowboys owe him pretty much the exact contract. So, yeah, they're worried about injuries now, short term, but I don't think, $1 million per year was the gap in the price between the Cowboys and Cedric Wilson. So, fun idea. Don't get your hopes up, though. Do you want to trade for a wide receiver? Y for yes or N for no? I will make this question the pinned comments on today's video. So, if the ad break happens to come here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there, type in Y for yes or N for no. From Roger Moore, go ahead and add $1 billion to team value if they sign T.O. It's also not how it works. Like, T.O. is 48 years old. He doesn't bring you anything at this point. He doesn't add anything of note or value or impact whatsoever. From Uncle Marky, Fuller or Beckham, who would you choose? Long term, I would take Odell Beckham, but in terms of fixing the Cowboys' wide receiver issues right now, I would rather pursue Will Fuller. I know there are injury concerns there too. That guy can't stay healthy. I need a bridge to get me from week 1 to week 3 or 4 whenever for Michael Gallup. And Fuller, I think, would be a lot better as a receiver 4. If Gallup and Tolbert and Lamb all play great, then Beckham would be, even though your receiving core is better. I could see him complain about his targets and whatnot. So if the money's cheap, I would go after Fuller myself. From Hunter Floyd, cut Zeke. I know you mean Zeke there. Next year draft, I assume you mean Bijan Robinson. Robinson, in the event the Cowboys draft him, let's say in the late teens, early 20s, wherever, if he were there, he'd probably be my best available player. I also don't really want to draft a running back around. He's awesome, but you got to take him in round 1, and that's a running back in the first round. That's kind of not learning the lesson of investing so much in Zeke. Like, I love Bijan. He's going to be a stud in the NFL, but I would rather invest in a different position, take a running back on round 3, for example. From Joey, if the Cowboys trade for Tyler Lockett, Zeke plays like pre-injury Zeke, Diggs, Curse, Brown stay just as good, and Micah steps up, we can go far, I have a feeling, but it might be a lot to ask for. Especially that first part. Tyler Lockett, I doubt that trade goes down. I would love it, but not the route I would expect the Cowboys to consider pursuing. But a lot of those other parts, if they happen, you should be able to win the NFC East once again and break that not back-to-back title champ curse that's been going on in the division. Today's show is made possible by our good friends over at Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping. That link will be in the comment section and in the description. The promo code is Cowboys. Get the Lawnmower 4.0, the Ultra Premium Collection, all of it. We've got you guys covered at manscaped.com with promo code Cowboys. Smooth sack summer is here, and Manscaped's making sure you have a ball off the field. From Ham Mares, if you were the owner of the Cowboys, who would you want to be the GM? The person has to be in the studio. Me. It's not you, Jeff. I'm sorry. It's me. I have if I were owner, I would also make myself GM, but that's the rule. 10 years. If I don't work out, I will sell. It's pretty straightforward. From Ballsack Towel, wow. What are your thoughts on signing D.D. Westbrook? I don't hate that name. That one's probably, we haven't really talked about him that much. He fits the role, could be a return man for you, potentially. Offers the speedy vertical threat you don't have. Should be pretty cheap. He hasn't been very productive in recent years. That's, again, why he's unsigned into the early stages of August. He's had one truly goodish year, and then was kind of inconsistent. But back quarterback playing Jacksonville. Didn't do much for Minnesota last year. But yeah, I'd be down with him as a vet insurance option. $5 from Mojo the Only. By the way, I think I do owe 2 beer cheers here, so 2. For some baby formula. Thank you. We did find some finally. What do you think about the suggestion in getting Tevin Jenkins for the Bears for O-line depth? That's an interesting idea. Jenkins, this is one of those weird situations where Jenkins should not be available. It's a second-round pick, a guy that I loved coming out of Oklahoma State. The Bears, who need offensive line help, are like, whatever, we don't want him. If you are already out, even for a new regime, on a top 50 pick after a year, that should raise big-time red flags. Could he be better than Terrence Steele? Maybe. Can I get him for a day 3 pick, a 5th or so? I'm totally down. But there's red flags that the Bears are already even considering him. Because when you see that when big media says, they've had trade talks, it means they want to trade somebody. That's a huge red flag for me. Speaking of trades, name a player who you guys want to trade for. Could be Tevin Jenkins. Could be somebody else altogether. Drop that player name or names in the comments for me right now. From Cryptic Al, T.Y. Hilton still out there. He is. That's very much the case at this point. So medical age, a big factor there. He has not been able to stay healthy. I put him in the same tier as Emmanuel Sanders of wait and see how things are going, then maybe have some interest there. From Roger Moore, is this defense actually better than last year's? They lost Randy but brought back the rest and added depth everywhere. I think you're going to see regression in terms of the takeaways. That's just how it always works in terms of overall play. The next year, there is regression in takeaways, but I think they'll be better on third downs, and that will lead to a very similar, I hope, production on defense. Plus, your level of competition in terms of quarterbacks, not that much worse. From Roy Williams, are the Cowboys going to bring back Ty Nsekhe as a swing if Josh Ball struggles? I'd rather look for somebody else, honestly. I don't think Nsekhe was very good. I would kick the tires on a trade target maybe, a different free agent. Seems like there's been a lot of good praise for Josh Ball. Big-time check mark there. But I would look in a different direction than just trying Ty Nsekhe again. Now, if you have not already, hit that big red button and subscribe right here on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Cowboys TV. We got daily videos every single day right here on the Cowboys Report. From Mark, not a Dak fan, but if we pay him $40 million, we should be relying on his arm. We just need a threat running back, not an every down back. Pollard's perfect. Need more receivers. Obviously, Mark and I disagree on the first half, and that's totally okay. I agree with the rest of that, though. The big issue the Cowboys ran into last year was they dared, opposing teams dared the Cowboys to run the football. And the Cowboys were like, they couldn't do it. Inside zone plays were a disaster. They could not run the football. I am worried about the wide receiver room. I am. It's thin right now. I totally agree. When opposing teams say, hey, run the football, you have to be able to. You have to be able to run it when you're dared to. That was a huge problem last year for the Cowboys. But I agree, Mark. You win the NFL, in the modern day NFL, by throwing the football. Get some more receivers. From a Tobo Goblin, do you actually think there is a curse on the Cowboys till Jimmy Johnson is in the Ring of Honor? Maybe. Can't rule it out, right? It's been a very long time. I'm not one to believe in curses, but, if saying there is a curse helps it, I'd be foolish not to at least mention it. So, no, not really, but also figure it out, Jerry and Jimmy. Jimmy should be in the Ring of Honor. From Egregious Dad, should the Cowboys bring back Dan Bailey? Again, I ask you, what year is it? Dan Bailey is done in the NFL because he was cheeks the last time we saw him play. 2020, the Minnesota Vikings. Sub 70% field goal kicks. He was 86% on extra points. He has not played in the NFL since then. He was bad. To be honest, as weird as I know the Cowboys have had their own kicker issues since then, Dallas was right to cut Dan Bailey. He hasn't been good since the Cowboys dumped him. He's been a bottom-tier kicker in the NFL the 3 years he was with Minnesota. There was 1 good year, 2 terrible years. Dallas was right to cut him. They've just failed to find a better option since then. So, no, the answer is not bringing back Dan Bailey. If anyone you're going to bring back, it's Cobra Kai Forbath. Now, Dan Bailey kind of qualifies as a Cowboys legend, almost too good for it. So have some fun in the comments section and name a Cowboys legend right now. I do owe a beer cheers to that earlier Mark Super Chat, by the way. Any news on us getting the Cleveland? That is J.C. Treader. I don't think you're going to find J.C. Treader signs. I think they're just going to give the job to Tyler Biadasz. And I know there's Matt Farney at competition, and they like James MP, and maybe Alec Lindstrom, who's had some snap issues, blah, blah, blah. Cool. I think Biadasz pretty clearly is the guy this year. From Vince, who was the best Cowboys signing so far? Barr? Fowler? You've named the names people have heard of. Washington and Nall are also hurt. So I think it's Anthony Barr. That was my favorite one. 1 year, $2 million deal. I'm totally on board with the signing of Barr. Fowler, I guess by default, is second, but I'm most about the Anthony Barr pickup. Speaking of the Anthony Barr pickup, grade the signing. A, B, C, D, or F. Sound off for me in the comments section. How do you feel that you've had almost 24 hours to think and reflect on the addition of Anthony Barr? I see some names for the Cowboys. Jeff, you said you had a name for Cowboys legends. Who is it?
Mike Vanderjagt.
He's almost too bad.
Oh, come on.
He was real bad.
He was real bad.
Like, that one is almost like, I might have to veto that one because I'm trying to be sucked so much.
Oh, my God.
You might have gone too far in the other direction.
Right, fair enough.
That works,
fair
though.
enough.
I'm still going to allow it, but that's close. That's close. Remember, the point of Cowboys legends is that they aren't actually that good. They just played for the Cowboys. That's how it works.
Well, he wasn't that good.
He was bad. The only one that's really not a Cowboys legend is David Irving, because he didn't give a shit about football. A lot of A's coming in, by the way. Vince, Cutter's Highlights, Hunter Floyd, Jinzo's Legions, Unbox to the Life. A from Garrett Stone, Sack77 saying A. He's watching both on YouTube and Rumble. That's the real MVP there. I missed this, by the way. There was a Rumble rant that came in that I totally missed from Saline95. I'll just read it off right now. Sorry about that, Saline. I want Dak to seed. Year after year, Dak comes up short. How long does the Cowboys organization give before moving on? Is it really Dak that comes up short, though, every year? Like, that's like, I think this past year, probably the best example of, you know what? If Dak had played better in that playoff game, Cowboys might have won. But there have been a lot of instances in the playoffs in particular where Dak actually played really well, but your defense had a bottom 10% performance, and the defense failed you. So I'm of this mindset. I think Dak's a top 10 quarterback. I want him on my team because the alternatives are terrible, and I think you can win and have success with him as your quarterback. On board with him wanting to succeed, obviously, but I think it's similar to the Tony Romo thing. Like, I don't blame Tony. I blame a lot of the supporting stuff, and should probably consider blaming the front office and Jerry Jones, etc. Coming up after today's live show wraps up, there are some more super chats we'll get to, by the way. Rumble after hours only. I'll do a beer cheers for you too, S. Saline 95. Appreciate it. Cowboys Report after hours. Sorry we missed that for the mailbag. I apologize again, but I wasn't paying attention to it. That's on me. Cowboys Report after hours only on Rumble. Head over there for an exclusive live segment. Saline, it's actually on Dak Prescott, so I think you might appreciate that one. All right, Jimmy Productions. Which free agent do you want to sign out of T.Y. Hilton, Emmanuel Sanders, or Will Fuller? First up, cheers. I know we're 5 away from shots, by the way, so we're close. Will Fuller's my number 1, as there it is. Emmanuel Sanders is my 2, barely ahead of T.Y. Hilton. You can flip those 2 back and forth. But Fuller's my number 1. All right, from Mark, as you'll need a shot glass too, Coop. Do you think we have an identity issue? We want to run, but Zeke's kind of washed up and the O-line regressed. You invest $40 million in Dak's arm, but you'll lose your wide receivers. I got a great point here, Mark. The O-line really regressed last year. Zeke got banged up and didn't play very well. The modern NFL says throw, run to, balance it out a little bit, and balance for the sake of balance is stupid, but you want to at least be able to run the football when you need to / or dare to. I think we'll get a good feel for how this year goes. If the Cowboys try hard to establish the run again, I'm going to be real concerned the call's coming from inside the house, and it's the front office saying run the football, even though it's not the best way to win football games. I don't like losing all those receivers and not really replacing them. I completely agree, Mark. I get it. All right, Jimmy Productions. This got us to 69, so shots coming up here. I feel like DeMonte Casey was a big loss for us. He played really well. What are your thoughts? I actually don't agree. I think a loss is fine. But look at what the Cowboys did as the year went on in terms of the safety usage. Yes, they were playing more 3 safety sets. Malik Hooker had beat out DeMonte Casey for that job. And for all the memes about, Trayvon Diggs allowed all these yards, almost 200 of them came because DeMonte Casey missed easy plays. Because it was Diggs' man, Casey was there, Diggs Casey's going to be playing, and then he messed it up. So, and both guys handled it pretty well. Hooker was better. So it could be a loss if Wilson and or Hooker get hurt again. I think they'll be okay, though, overall at safety. So thank you for that super chat. Jimmy, it's shot time. Come on up, Coop.
Right.
You got your shot glass there.
Sure.
Got some Jack Daniels for you. You're wearing Texas today.
Yeah.
Look at that. Shout out your favorite Texas college team in the comments for me. State of Texas, I should say. Go Baylor? Go Bears?
No.
Sick 'em? Is Texas back? Y for yes, N for no? No, not yet. I know is Arch Manning going to redshirt? Y for yes, N for no. Bottoms up. 69 in super chats. Cheers, my friends. There we go. All right. A little bit of Jack there. Joe says go Gators. That's one of Coop's other teams. Coop has more teams than the entire Chat Sports office combined.
So
Which you do.
here's how it happened, and that's not true. Jeremy has 2 NFL teams.
Yeah, and you've got 18.
I have 1, and
Yeah.
it's the Cowboys.
Sure you do.
My mom went to Texas. My dad went to Florida. I went to UNT. Those are my 3 teams. That's it. No more.
If you say so.
No moss.
Aren't you a Houston fan too?
Ew.
Kidding. I see. Ooh, there's a Kansas State. Is that Brett's burner account in there? Or maybe Tyler's burner account? Who knows? Oh, no, wait, Tyler's Kansas. I'm being stupid. All right. Let's head over now to what's up next? Training camp. Training camp winners and losers coming up here for the Cowboys. We got the $69 in super chat, so thanks, guys. We did some shots for that standpoint there. So Open up with the now of the camp, which I think I have in there. After this segment wraps up, the Cowboys training camp winners and losers, we're going to head over exclusively to Rumble, so make sure you guys are following us on that platform. You're watching the Dallas Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. Today's show, Dallas Cowboys camp winners and losers, updated edition, 10 winners, 5 losers, a little bit different than the previous version that we had here on the channel. But the first 2 names have not changed because I think they can. Anthony Brown is our first camp winner. Of all the Cowboys players, he might be the best one so far. He has been balling and thriving at this point for the Cowboys organization. Now remember, folks, we've done this video before. I'll make sure it's in the comments section and in the description if you want to look at that version. Some of the names have changed, but I wanted to look at other guys beyond the same 7, 8, 9, 10 guys. Micah Parsons continues to remain a winner, by the way. I think more pass rusher than pure linebacker, which I think is a great thing for the Dallas Cowboys organization. You add Anthony Barr, and Parsons has looked awesome. He is beating everyone he faces, both Terrence Steele and Tyron Smith as well. I fully expect a big-time, massive campaign this season out of Micah Parsons. Let's go to the number 1 wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb. He also looks awesome right now. The Dak and Lamb chemistry is clicking very well. He has been by far, it's a low bar to clear, I guess, the team's number 1 wide receiver. Plus, look at that visor look. That is unbelievably hot. And if that's how Lamb's going to rock his gear this year, I mean, I'm a big fan of look good, feel good, play good. That's CeeDee Lamb to a T right now. He has been balling so far at Cowboys camp. I am very excited about him this year. Now, here's our next question. How many touchdown catches will CeeDee Lamb have this year? Is it double digits, or is it still more in the 7, 8, 9 range? Sound off for me in the comments section. Back to defense, which overall has won things a little bit more than the offense, which tends to happen early on in camp. That's how most things go. Some drills are better for the offense, some better for the defense, i.e. one-on-ones favor the offense. But Osa Odigizua has been thriving so far in camp. And of all the potential second-year breakout players, this one might be the most on track towards occurring since Micah Parsons already broke out, of course, in year 1. The big thing this Cowboys team is lacking is a dynamic presence on the interior of the D-line. And hopefully, Agent 0097, Osa Odigizua, can emerge as that true second-year jump candidate. I am excited about him this year. So which side of the ball for the Cowboys in 2022 for the actual games that matter? Which side of the ball will be better? Type in O for offense, or you can type in D for defense. This question is the pinned comments on today's show. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know, O or D. Back to the offense. Dennis Houston, the undrafted rookie free agent wide receiver, has been getting reps with the ones. Sometimes even over Jalen Tolbert, as weird as that might sound. Houston has impressed the coaches, and I think that really dates back to minicamp and OTAs. The team has praised his releases, his route running, etc. With James Washington banged up, Houston got the reps with ones. Not anyone else of the receivers, not Noah Brown or TJ Vasher, Fayoko, etc. Dennis Houston, shockingly, got those reps with the ones. It makes him an obvious winner. Now, overall, the receivers have shown some nice stuff. The other 4 guys I want to mention in this order in terms of impressing, by the way, is Noah Brown, TJ Vasher, Simi Fayoko, and Brandon Smith also in that conversation as well. But the numbers game is still real at wide receiver. Lamb, Tolbert are roster locks. Everybody else, kind of up for grabs. I think Noah Brown might make it. If they carry Michael Gallup through and it doesn't go on the PUP list, that leaves 2 spots, I think, at maximum, especially if Kevontae Turpin ends up being your punt returner. So, of the young, impressing wide receivers so far, if you have to cut one, who is it? Type in DH for Dennis Houston, type in TJ for TJ Vasher, or SF for Simi Fayoko. If you have to cut one, let me know who it is in the comments section. More receiver or offensive winners, I should say. We're focusing on that side because last time we focused so much on the defense. Sean McEwen, in part because of injuries to Jeremy Sprinkle and to Jake Ferguson, minor ones by the way, Sean McEwen has firmly established himself as tight end 2. He's made some nice plays in camp, and with massive uncertainty beyond Lamb and Tolbert right now at wide receiver, I think the Cowboys are trending towards using more 12 personnel and 21 personnel. That means more Zeke and Tony Pollard and or more of Dalton Schultz and Sean McEwen. I am not sold yet on McEwen being a long-term piece, but I am happy to give credit when it's due, and he's looked quite good so far at Cowboys Training Camp. So hopefully he and Schultz can provide some nice 1-2 punch at the tight end position. Now, the Cowboys Report is also available on Rumble. Give us a follow for free. We've got uncensored videos, so if I drop an F-bomb, it's all good. You can still hear the uncensored version on Rumble. You can play it more podcast style, and it's free. We also have Cowboys Report After Hours exclusive live segment. If you want that, got to be following us. Rumble.com/Cowboys TV. Link is right there at the bottom of your screen. Let's go to Rico Dowdle right now. There was some, is he on the roster bubble, is he not, etc. Dowdle was flashing a lot. He looked a bit quicker, a bit faster this year after having injury issues last year and for OTA/minicamp. Unfortunately, Dowdle did catch COVID, so he's a little bit further down on the list at this point. But Dowdle, I think, is the favorite to be the running back number 3 for the Cowboys in 2022. Leighton Vander Esch is next up here, and I went back and forth on a lot of these last 3 names. There's plenty of people who I've left off, and I mean no disrespect by doing so. But I do think Vander Esch is having a very strong camp, and I'm starting to wonder more and more if maybe not having to play alongside Jalen Smith and having to try to cover for him all the time and benefiting from playing alongside Micah Parsons instead has drastically changed LVE's game, at least made him more confident. He is one of the defensive play callers in terms of having the helmet on and the mic inside. He and Jaron Kearse handle those responsibilities. He's looked sharp. The Anthony Barr signing was not about Leighton Vander Esch. It was about letting Parsons play more edge and adding depth at a spot you needed extra depth. You guys, of course, follow camp closely because you're real ones. So name a training camp winner so far for the Dallas Cowboys. Could be someone I've mentioned, maybe someone I've not mentioned, like Dak Prescott. On this list, he had a great day on Thursday. The deep ball kind of clicking a bit more than it had early on in camp. But name a camp winner for me so far. Jordan Lewis, the corner, is next up here. We mentioned Anthony Brown. I want to give Lewis, and I think Deshaun Wright, who we'll kind of get to later on here, some love as well. Lewis had a few strong days. As overall, the defense has outperformed the offense, which shouldn't be either a surprise nor a concern. The Cowboys have done quite well in terms of building the defense in recent years. One more winner, that is left guard Tyler Smith. And although technically speaking, Connor McGovern is still your starter, he's been the one getting reps with the start of the ones. It's been a heavy rotation. And it's pretty clear, based on every single report out there, that the other T. Smith is better than the other Connor M. McGovern has not looked all that great. Smith's power is on display. He's not been perfect. He has gotten beat. That's okay. He's young. Adjust your expectations correctly. But Tyler Smith, matter of when, not if, he's your left guard starter, and I think before week 1. Programming alert for you guys. The Cowboys Report live edition is moving to Monday for the start of the 2022 NFL season. That starts this upcoming Monday. So don't miss out. Make sure you are following us there on the Cowboys Report, youtube.com/Cowboys TV. Turn those noties on. We'll be back live again on Monday. To the losers side, because life has losers, deal with it. Big time loser, James Washington, because the timing of his injury and the severity of it is almost a worst case outcome beyond like being out for the year. He will miss 6 to 10 weeks and probably closer to the 10-week time frame, which means by the time that James Washington is back and healthy, Michael Gallup is already back too, most likely, which means now your bridge replacement at receiver doesn't get a chance to show much because Tolbert's already ahead of him. Gallup will be, and obviously Lamb will be too. So instead of getting a chance to show receiver 2, receiver 3 ability, he's going to be stuck, I think, and I fear, as a backup. I got 4 more losers. I kind of cheated, by the way, on this list. Coming up next. Before we get to it, name a camp loser for me so far. Drop that name in the comments section. Kelvin Joseph is our next camp loser, and this was almost a Nashawn Wright's your camp winner because I do think Wright has outplayed Joseph so far. He's been out there. He's been healthy. That's always a good sign. But Joseph so far has suffered from what I call it's a Wouzier syndrome. Of course, named after Cheetah Bear Wouzier, where he's in position and he just can't find the football and locate it, and he ends up getting beat by guys that maybe he shouldn't be getting beat by so far. I'm not out on Joseph. Again, he hasn't played very much football, but the camp breakout I was hoping for has not appeared, at least not yet. There's plenty of time still for camp and the preseason before week 1 in September. Maybe your biggest camp losers, the friggin' kickers, once again. It is not going well, although there is a favorite early on in terms of the actual production. We've tracked the numbers thanks to all the reports from Todd Archer, Jeff Kavanaugh, Belt, etc. Jonathan Garibay, on normal field goals, is 20 of 32, 62.5%. Yikes. They did the Mojo Moments thing, and Thursdays was better than the previous weeks. He actually made a couple. 3 of 9 in those high-pressure, unique situations. The favorite in terms of the production, but not who John Fossil wanted, is Liram Hairulahu. He is a little bit better. 24 of 32 for 75%, and 6 of 8 on the Mojo Moments side. Here's the problem. None of that production is good enough. And I know they're doing tough situations of some longer kicks, some into the wind. Make your freaking field goals. Like that, this team and this coaching staff and this organization is too prepared to play close games. The kicker will cost you a game again. They did it last year. The key part about not investing in a kicker, UDFAs and Hairulahu, is that if they're bad, cut them and move on. There are other kickers, Kai Forbath, some USFL guys, Michael Badley. Go get somebody. Don't just assume that we like our guys. That is the whole reason why I didn't want to draft a kicker, which, by the way, there was only one drafted this year, so don't give me that BS. Cooper Rush is next up here, and this one is a bit under the radar, I think. Will Greer's had some nice practices. Rush, not so much. It's not his best stuff so far, but I think he's more of a gamer, much like Dak Prescott, than a practice guy. At one point at camp, though, he had 3 straight fumbles on snaps. Now, I think part of that was it's a lefty center with James Empey and I think, or Alex, and I think James Empey too, which isn't, that's unusual, but 3 straight fumbled snaps is unheard of. Even in training camp. And Will Grier has flashed a little bit, and we know Doug Nussmeier likes Will Grier a lot. So I'm going to pay a little bit closer attention to the preseason than what I'd planned to in terms of the quarterback battle, potential battle between Will Grier and Rush. I do still think that Rush is the favorite, though. So with that in mind, pick a backup quarterback. Type in CR for Cooper Rush, or type in WG for Will Grier. Who do you want as quarterback 2? Sound off in the comment section. One last camp loser. I'm cheating here. It is the other injured guys. There's quite a few of them, and it's unfortunate that wasn't there on offense. 8 injuries to make note of. One good news kind of tacked in here, though. Matt Waletzko, he suffered the shoulder injury. We will see when he ends up coming back. Jabril Cox has a minor knee issue, but he should be back on Saturday. Sprinkle and Ferguson tight ends are a bit banged up. That hurts them. Rico, Dowdle, and Aaron Shampklin both have COVID at this point. Ryan Nall has the previously discussed shoulder issue, 2 to 4 weeks. Good news, Dontario Drummond is off the PUP list. That news came on Thursday before our live show, so good news for Drummond, but he did miss some time early on. That does it for today's Cowboys Report. If you are a real one and made it all the way to the end, we appreciate it. We'll show you some love if you spam a real one for us in the comments section. All right, this was our pin poll. Do you want to sign a receiver? Y for yes and for no. But we changed it. Cooler producer. 91% going for Jeff over Jeremy. Is Jeremy out there still? Yeah, he is. 91% say Jeff the Cowboys fan is a cooler producer than Jeremy the Eagles fan. 9% on that one.
Look, we knew this was going to be the outcome. This is an expected victory.
Are you going to body Jeremy for the rest of the week now?
Absolutely.
With this? There you go.
No
I appreciate
question.
that. Appreciate that. All right, why for yes and for no do you want to sign a wide receiver next with all the other moves from that standpoint? Let me know in the comments. We're going to wrap up today's live show here on YouTube and on Rumble, or on Facebook. We're going to go only to Rumble. Exclusive live segment. I see Celine95 and Sack77 already over there. Make sure you guys get over to the live show, exclusively available on Rumble. Before that, there were some more Super Chats. If the Super Chats keep coming in, we won't jump to Rumble, but once the Super Chats end, Rumble only. J Buzz, Tom, were you a fan before covering the Cowboys? I was. I got to find it on my Twitter. It's somewhere buried. I've got the photos of me as like a, 4-year-old maybe? 5-year-old? Ages for kids confuse me even though I have one. Asleep in a plastic Cowboys helmet. I've always been a Cowboys fan. That's never going to change. Jimmy Productions. So Donta Fowler was basically the Ranniger replacement. Anthony Barr was near replacement, but they can both play edge and linebacker. Well, Fowler is a pure edge. He's not someone you want dropping off into coverage. 3-4 outside linebacker is 4-3 defensive end. Barr can do a little bit of both. I think you'll see him play a bit more off-ball linebacker, but there is some flexibility from that standpoint in terms of being able to play some edge. But yeah, Fowler kind of replaces Gregory, which we'll see which Dante Fowler they get this year. There's been some great Fowler and some bad Dante Fowler. From Mark, will Van Der Esch be a stud again, or is he washed up? I do think that, I don't know if he was full-fledged stud, but I think that Van Der Esch will be a good football player for you, and that's good for the Cowboys defense. From Mark, it's a trick question, LOL. No way the defense gets as many turnovers, and we have 2 +s on offense. I think the question should be who regresses less. It's a good point. I do think defensive regression is one of the things the Cowboys kind of tried to guard against. I think turnover regression will happen. From a positive regression standpoint, I am also hoping you get off the field a little bit better than what you did last year on third downs. Even against the Niners, yeah, Debo ran for a bunch of yards on you. Go look at the third down situations the Cowboys were in. That is why they lost on defense. They, of course, played a good defense again. They blew it on offense overall. They did not get the field well on third downs. That should regress back to the mean and help balance out the turnovers, which will probably drop from what it was last year. From Mark, I think we are solid DT and wide receiver away from being very good. I am afraid we are waiting too long and missed out on good players thanks to Skeletor. Let's call it what it is. The Cowboys are not all in right now. They're not. They are not interested in devoting themselves and committing to being aggressive. And they will say, well, winning hasn't worked in the offseason before, which they've never done. They haven't won the offseason in decades. So that's BS from Stephen Jones. I think they call it gaslighting. Come on, Stephen. So they're not all in. They are not committed to trying to go all out right now, which help them out next year if things don't work out, but it's frustrating in the moment, and I wish they would be a bit more aggressive overall because they have the money if they want to. A $1.99 super chat here from Martin Rubio. I do owe 1, 2, 3 beer cheers here. If we get no more super chats, YouTube and Facebook is ending and will be live exclusively on Rumble. I'm putting that link right now in the live chat for you guys. It's exclusively on Rumble, so get over there. YouTube's going to end. Facebook's ending here too. Rumble.com/Cowboys TV. Give you guys 10 seconds as I chug some beer here. 1 cheers. 2 cheers. And 3 cheers for you guys. Appreciate the support on Facebook and on YouTube. Go ahead and kill it, Coop. We're jumping only over to Rumble. Links in the live chat, rumble.com/